Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. We have Dear John Letters on Thursday, and we got a good one for today. I'm excited to see what Heidi has to say. But also, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, you are always welcome to chime in as well. We have some people that chime in every week, but not you. Why not you? What's the deal? I'm talking to you. You haven't chimed in ever. Reach out. Let us know what you think and give some good advice, because I give terrible advice. I mean, we need somebody that has good advice. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. We've got it posted. We posted it really early this morning, and you can find it and chime in if you would like at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Got a quote here for today from Dwight Eisenhower. He was the president of the United States. Leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it. So there you go. That's leadership.
There you go.
I like that. That's nice. I'm going to see if I can get Heidi to do some things that I want done. You think? Probably not.
You're nice enough.
All right. You're listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
There are monthly subscriptions for razors and coffee and many other things, but this is the best monthly subscription ever. Ladies, listen up. Odiva has a monthly subscription for your monthly visitor. You know it's going to happen every month, and how many times have you been caught off guard? Odiva will send you a box discreetly each month with the products you want, with plans starting at less than $4 a month. Get a special offer right now at radiosavings.com, helping women prepare for their monthly visitor for less. Try it now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
It's National Kansas Day. Woohoo! I think it's the day Kansas was founded. We don't know what year it was losted.
I knew. That's what you were going to say.
That is my standard go-to John joke right there. It's not a good one. I don't encourage anyone to use it. But if you do use it and you get the look that I usually get, say, that's a John joke. I'm sorry. National Everything You Think Is Wrong Day is today. National Pears Helene Day. I believe that is a dessert.
It must be.
Never had that before.
I do like pears.
And also National Shoe the World Day.
That's nice.
Today. So it's a good day to make the world just shoe. Go away. Shoe. No, it's put shoes on their feet.
Put shoes on.
That's probably better. That's much better. Let's do that one instead on this 15th day of March.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now a breakthrough, safe and natural, non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which makes you happier. Just by drinking this special cup of coffee, many reported elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. But first, take a listen to this. A beer truck traveling westbound on Interstate 10 in Florida ran off the road and overturned, dumping about 30 tons of beer all over the road. This was like a week ago. The crash happened at 2:40 a.m. I believe it was last Wednesday. This was sent to me. Florida Highway Patrol said the driver of the truck, Michael Powell, age 44, suffered minor injuries. Troopers say Powell failed to maintain his lane, and he hit the shoulder of the road, which caused the tractor-trailer to overturn. About 60,000 pounds of Busch beer spilled out from the trailer all over the road. Powell was cited for careless driving. I got a link to the story online. There were beer cans everywhere.
Did they explode? Or
no, well, some of them did. Didn't you guys watch a beer truck turn the corner and drop a bunch of beer all over the road? That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
It probably wasn't 60,000 pounds of beer, though. But the guy looked really upset. All right. Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Sok Yi, age 70, was arrested after he repeatedly called 911 to report that somebody had thrown away his clam chowder in a dumpster. Didn't we talk a little bit about this?
I think we did.
I think we just mentioned that much. Well, here's the rest of the story. Police say Yi called 911 4 separate times and didn't report any type of emergency during the calls. Instead, he yelled and screamed that somebody was throwing away his clam chowder into a dumpster. He was cited for abusing the 911 system. About an hour later, dispatchers reported that we dialed again, complaining to the dispatcher that he received a summons for misusing the system. Well, then you misused it again. They arrived. Officers found Yi lying in his bed, intoxicated. Then he began to angrily complain about being issued the misdemeanor summons. He was arrested and advised that he would be taken into police custody. It says, however, when officers repeatedly asked him to get out of bed, he refused. He then was removed from the bed by police, but as he was being handcuffed, they said he tensed up and refused to comply. After some hesitation, he finally complied. He was charged with misuse of 911 and interfering with the police. So, bad idea.
I would say so. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit of booze, and the guy was just misusing the police system, the 911 system. Don't do that. This is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, as we get close to the weekend once again, Black Panther has now grossed over $1 billion in just 26 days. So, you think it'll be number one at the box office again this weekend?
I don't know.
It might be. Although, I'm going to make a prediction of a different movie that I think is going to do well. One that's sneaking up on a lot of people, and they don't even know what's going to happen. Tomorrow, we're going to be visiting with the Irwin brothers, and their new movie comes out tomorrow. It's called I Can Only Imagine. Now, I'm not trying to rub it in, but I do want to say I've already seen it. It's coming out officially tomorrow. I had a chance to sneak preview this. Unbelievable movie. Yeah, you know who hasn't seen it? Heidi. Heidi hasn't, but we're going to go to it. It's a good movie. Again, that's my prediction. It's going to have a very good weekend. Also, the first trailer has been released for the upcoming Roseanne revival. It's the TV show. See, this is the little screen part. They're calling it a revival because John Goodman's character died in the last series. Now he's alive again, and everything's fine. And they explain that away as like a dream, I believe. So,
of course.
The trailer is out. I actually saw the trailer, and it looked like it was pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there.
I really wouldn't mind seeing it either. I've heard some good things.
There you go. Coming up, we've got more fun stuff to get to. This is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
You can go to college without student loans. Do you have a kid in 11th or 12th grade or in college? Let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstein, and I earned my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas and my master's from Prescott College with no loans. And I was an all-around average student. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. Take my first course for free that walks you through my journey by going to learnwithoutloans.com.
Now your scoop of the day, courtesy of FirstCupIsFree.com. The World Health Organization, that's the WHO, they're warning that a mysterious virus known as Disease X could cause an international pandemic.
Uh-oh.
And anybody out there with an X, you know what I'm talking about.
What is it?
Disease X. It's a new disease.
Okay, what does it do? How do you know if you've got Disease X?
Well, I have a link to this story. I'll put it on our Facebook page. Because
so you're going to say... All you're going to tell our listeners is
if you
Disease X.
So
you're in trouble.
All I'm saying is the World Health Organization has this stuff all figured out. I don't. I didn't come up with this. Here's the good news. I'm going to click on here now because Heidi's making a big deal of it.
Well, we
may all die. Film at 11. As if Ebola and Zika and SARS are not enough to worry about, the World Health Organization, that's the WHO, Heidi, they added a mysterious yet-to-exist new malady to their list of 9 diseases that may cause worldwide epidemics.
So it doesn't exist yet?
Disease X. It's not... It is a not newly identified killer. I don't know what that means. All of this is confusing. See, my story was not confusing. It just didn't tell you anything.
It's a not newly identified... That is a contradiction in terms.
Disease X is not a newly identified killer pathogen. I don't know what that means. It is a so-called known unknown. What? Could be created by biological mutation. What? Anyway, I have a link. If you can read all of this, if it makes any sense to you, please call and speak slowly and tell me what the heck it says, because I just don't.
Well, thank you for
Get
that
it.
information, John.
So, hey, here's a story that's a lot brighter. A new study found your cell phone's not going to kill you after all. Remember, there was a story a while back where they were saying the radiation from your cell phone could make your brain explode, or whatever it was.
They've been saying that for years.
Well, now there's a new study that says not so much. It says a new study found that cell phone radiation probably won't kill you.
Probably.
Why'd you throw the probably in there? Isn't that that's not good? When you're doing a scientific study and you go, is it going to kill me? Probably not. Just say no. That would make me feel much better. A study by the University of Utah determined...
If they said it would, it's not like you'd stop using your phone.
No, I probably wouldn't. Back to this one. A new study by the University of Utah determined that there are 4 types of Facebook users. So that's what they're working on in the University of Utah. Here's the 4 types, by the way. The relationship builder, the selfie artist, the town crier, and the window shopper. Which of those do you think you are, Heidi? A relationship builder, a selfie artist, a town crier, or the window shopper? Where's the offender of everyone?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not any of those. So they are wrong.
Heidi's no longer the administrator on our Facebook page. So you know. University of Utah determined those 4 types. I would say I'm probably...
The relationship builder.
Either the relationship builder or the town crier. You know, the one that kind of shouts about all the stuff going on. Because I'm always sharing stuff on there. So maybe I'm that. I'm certainly not the selfie
You're not
artist.
the town crier would be one of who's warning of impeding danger, and you
No,
don't
not
do
necessarily.
that.
Nobody talk about, hey, this is going on and that's going on. Extra, read all about it. And once in a while, I'll post that very thing. So I'm probably the town crier. The window shopper is just somebody that's peeking from the outside, but they're not really talking about nothing.
You do that too, though. On my page, you
I
don't
never
ever comment on things. You just
tagged
look.
me in something one time that was like terrible and awful, and I untagged myself.
It was hilarious.
It was not good. I said, I don't want to be known as that. It's getting harder and harder to admit we're married, so don't. And China abolished the term limits this last Sunday, so
I
their
saw that.
president
That's a
could now be
bad thing.
president for life. And one last thing here. SpaceX founder Elon Musk held a surprise question and answer session at South by Southwest Festival. He predicted that a rocket will be making trips to Mars. He put short trips to Mars by the end of 2019. So that would be a thing where they send you there and you like hang out for a bit and then jump back on and fly back home, I guess. Is that what a short trip to Mars would be? I'm not sure. What is a short
How long does it
trip?
take to get to Mars?
I don't know. Probably an
Is
afternoon
there such a
or
thing
something?
as a short
I don't
trip
know.
to Mars?
See, I don't know any of the answers. I've got a link to that story, too, just in case you want to know. Thanks for listening. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
Radio really works. That's a pretty bold statement, but it's true. If you advertise on the radio the right way, you'll see results. I've said for years, advertising costs money, but effective advertising makes money. The only difference between spending money and making money is that one word, effective. Let us help you make your advertising more effective. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. We do radio jingles and creative ads to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. Hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John.
As always, I'm looking forward to Heidi's response. And ladies and gentlemen, you can respond as well. I know not here live on the air, but you can respond on our Facebook page. We'll give you all the details on how to do that in just a bit. But first, let's get to quite possibly the weirdest Dear John letter ever. Dear John, this may be the weirdest letter you get this year. Well, of course it is. My coworker is dating a girl that I think may be his sister.
Oh.
Says he met her a few weeks ago. When they first met, he felt an instant connection and told me she was his soulmate. I met her this weekend, and she looks just like him. I also found out that she was adopted, and my friend was also adopted. They're about 2 years apart in age and from the same area. He said they can talk for hours and have so many things in common, even though they've just met a few weeks ago. I told him I think she may be your biological sister. He said I was crazy. I think he should get a DNA test before anything else happens. What do you think? Is he right? Am I crazy for thinking that? Or do you think he should get a DNA test? Signed, Crazy Friend. You know, probably not a bad idea. So because he doesn't know. They could be.
No, he doesn't know where he came from.
And how weird would it be to find out if you do start dating, and you guys have been dating now for, it says like you met a couple weeks ago, you wouldn't want to find something like that out a whole lot later in this relationship. And if you were adopted and she was adopted, I'm not saying that you both need to, track down who your biological family is and all of that stuff, but you might want to at least just tell her, or if I was him, so again, I guess it's your friend, so tell your friend, blame it on me. Just say, hey, I'm gonna blame it on you, the crazy friend, but my friend thinks that we should check before we move much further. Because I think if she hasn't thought about that, maybe she's already thought about it too, and she's afraid to say something to your friend, But wouldn't you want to know? How awful would it be if you guys are getting married, then you find out after you're married that, oh, hey, you know why we get along so well? We're actually brother and sister.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
So, again, I don't think you're crazy at all. What advice do you give, Heidi? How should he?
Well, he's already done what he can. He already mentioned it to him. She might be your sister. You should get a blood test. I mean, that's all he can. He can wash his hands of it now, knowing he's done everything he can probably do. So I'd leave them alone.
You don't want to meddle too much because then,
he's already told him. I mean, if the guy isn't concerned about it, then whatever. It's not your problem. But you've already done what you can.
This is where, again, the nice thing is this is anonymous. Nobody knows who we're talking about. There's no names involved. Anybody listening who wants to chime in can chime in. And the good news is this is something that his friend can point out. He can say, okay, your name wasn't involved, but I had this concern. I took it to the John and Heidi show for Dear John Letters.
For expert advice.
I'm not saying we're experts. But here's what we can do is we can have a multitude of opinions. Because if a lot of people on there are saying, hey, you really should, dude, check it out and see if you guys are related, maybe he'll do that. And if there's a bunch of people that say, what are the odds? I mean, it's pretty slim chance. It is a very slim chance. But you're saying there's a chance.
It's not very slim.
No,
if they're from the same area and if they're 2 years apart and they were both adopted, it's not very slim.
Okay, but the thing is, they may not be.
They may not be, but
there's not anything at all saying that you are related. The friend here is just saying
if they look alike. I
mean, look a lot alike.
I don't know. It sounds like it's pretty good, but as far as I'm concerned, he's already done what he can. It's up to them now.
Yeah. But when you and I met, we had an instant connection. It's like, we could talk for hours and all of the other things that he talked about, but we're not related. I see you all the time at family reunions. It's because we're married now. So, but if we were biologically related, wouldn't you want to know that in advance?
Well, of course.
So I think that it would be a good idea. For me, I would get the DNA test. How much is that expensive?
I don't know.
Maybe it's
I've
a
never
cost
had
thing.
one done.
I've never done that either. So I don't know. Maybe if it's an expensive thing, maybe you even offer to chip in and help if you're really wondering and you really want to know. Or if you just were doing it out of courtesy and he's not going to listen, then it's
just go on one of those shows. They'll do it for free.
Hey, there you go.
And you'll get a free trip.
Am I dating my sister? You're in a waiting room with 97 other people. Wow. What a day. If you've got a Dear John letter that you'd like to submit for next week, or if you'd like to chime in for this Dear John letter, you can do all of that at the same place. It's our Facebook page for the show, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The top of the Eiffel Tower, that's in Paris. Did you know that?
I did, in fact.
The top, it's also where the Eiffel Tower is, but the top of the Eiffel Tower is also in Paris. It leans away from the sun as the metal facing the sun heats up and expands and contracts, and it moves as much as 7 inches when that happens.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Eiffel Tower is up there like one of those big inflatable wacky, what are they called? What is it called?
Wacky.
Inflatable wailing,
flailing, arm wailing, inflatable tube man.
Whatever it is. I'd like to see one that looks like the Eiffel Tower now. If they don't have one, why haven't you done that yet? Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Lieutenant Colonel Mad Jack Churchill was the only British soldier in World War II to have known to have killed an enemy soldier with a longbow. His nickname, Mad Jack. He insisted on going into battle armed with both a medieval bow and a claymore sword. And they're like, don't you want a gun? But he killed somebody with it, so I guess, hats off to him, I guess. Couple of fun facts, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now, a breakthrough, safe and natural, non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which makes you happier. Just by drinking this special cup of coffee, many reported elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. I don't know if we've used this or not. This is from back in February, but I'm looking through here, and some of these I don't like, so I'm not going to use them all. But here's a grandiloquent word, drumble. D-R-U-M-B-L-E. I don't remember that. Do you remember that?
No.
Drumble. It's a verb. To move in a slow, sluggish way. Intransitive verb. To be sluggish or lazy, to be confused. To mumble in speaking is also to drumble. So if you mumble, you also drumble. Sometimes I mumble, sometimes I drumble, sometimes I don't do neither.
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Like a cat wearing a hat? No, that's not right. It's a cat in a hat. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is your grandiloquent word of the day.
John and Heidi.
You can go to college without student loans. Do you have a kid in 11th or 12th grade or in college? Let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstein, and I earned my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas and my master's from Prescott College with no loans. And I was an all-around average student. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. Take my first course for free that walks you through my journey by going to LearnWithoutLoans.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by FirstCupIsFree.com. This is a disgusting story from Minneapolis. A gentleman sent this to me, by the way, so thank you for sending me a yucky story. Guy there is being charged with urinating in a coworker's water bottle. This guy's 47 years old. You'd think he'd be old enough to know better to do anything like this.
Oh, gross.
But he asked a coworker out at this restaurant. She said no. And then she said, I noticed that my water started tasting funny. Had like a urine taste, which how would you know what urine tastes like? But
I think you kind of have a pretty good
I don't
idea
know.
because most of your taste comes from smell,
I
and
know.
most people have smelled urine.
Well, somebody reached out to the police. They came and they asked him questions, and he denied having done this. And they said, okay, well, we're taking this in for a DNA test, so as long as it comes back clear, you're fine. And he goes, well, there was this one time the restaurant was really busy, and I had to use a bottle because... So, he's been doing
That's
this.
disgusting.
He got in a lot of trouble, and his attorney declined to comment. Thank you for sending that to me. I've got a link to that disgusting story on our
Brought to you
Facebook
by
page.
First Cup is Free.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have had them as our... Let's just not mention them this time. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. Robert Winter, age 63, was so upset when he lost power during a storm a week ago that he threatened to kidnap a company employee from the power company.
Whoa!
And blow up a substation.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Mr. Winter is this guy's name. He was angry because the nor'easter left him without power. So Mr. Winter was mad because it was winter. He called the company in New Jersey and complained that he was still without power, got agitated, and he said that he was going to kidnap an employee.
Oh, my gosh.
And indicated that he knew how to make bombs that would blow up a substation and nobody would have power. Authorities of the power company contacted the police, and he was charged with third-degree terroristic threats.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a bad plan.
Yeah, it is.
How did he think that was going to end?
I don't know. I've seen you get that upset with people.
Never threatened to blow
You
up a power
threatened
company.
to burn a building down.
No, I did not really.
You did.
I didn't. I just.
You did. And then I
quite
remember
upset.
one time that our gas went out and you
so
couldn't
mad.
finish cooking your hamburgers and
I
you
went out to-
came unglued.
I was so mad, but I didn't threaten to blow anything up or burn anything down. Well, I did. Maybe.
You did.
I didn't really. I was just very upset. And okay, well, Mr. Winter, I think I owe you an apology. No, you're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Thanks for listening.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got some good news to get to, but first, 18-year-old Jesse Wills and 23-year-old Cody Mojica were arrested in Cape Coral, Florida for burglarizing 20 cars on the street right where they lived. A neighbor observed the pair breaking into multiple neighbors' cars. They were all unlocked, by the way. Police later searched their home and found sunglasses, cash, a tool set, and more. Wills admitted that he was breaking in while Mojica served as the lookout. They were arrested on a handful of charges, including burglary and grand theft. So they were stealing their neighbor's stuff. That's not nice.
Well, no, of course it's not
any
nice.
better if you're stealing stuff from strangers. I just, the way I said that, it almost made it sound like the emphasis was on that it was bad that it was the neighbors. It just seems weird to me that you would do that.
Yeah, well.
Because, what are you going to do with those sunglasses you stole? You can't wear them to anywhere in the neighborhood.
We're up to the block barbecue.
Yeah, big block party going on. Hey, I like those. I used to have some just like that. They were
stolen out of my car.
Really? Yeah, I used to have a windbreaker like that, too, and it was stolen out of my car. I used to have a Walkman like that. It was stolen out of my car. Time for me to go, guys. All right. I've got a link to that story on our Facebook page. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and our good news comes your way courtesy of Odiva, the monthly subscription for a women's monthly visitor. All the details at radiosavings.com. This story is actually from like a week ago. Heidi sent this to me. Back in February, Billy Graham passed away, and he was 99. And this is actually kind of a cool story. I didn't realize this, but his final resting place where he was buried, the coffin that he was in, the casket. What's the difference between a casket and a coffin?
I don't know.
I believe somebody told me this one time. I believe one has straight sides and the other one has the angled sides. And I don't remember which is which. But either way, this is a gentleman who for 60-plus years, he was known as America's pastor. And his final resting place, when he was laid to rest, the coffin that he was in was built by prisoners.
Oh, yeah,
And
I knew that. I think I
you
sent this to you.
me.
Yeah.
Of course. I just got done saying you sent me this. Now you're
Sorry,
like,
I
really?
was-
This seems vaguely familiar.
Yes, I did see this. I thought this was fascinating.
And it was a convicted murderer who is serving a life sentence at Angola Prison in Louisiana. His nickname is Grasshopper. He was the one that got to do got to build this casket. And his wife was also so Billy Graham's wife was also laid to rest in the same thing. And it was just the family talked about how this is what he wanted. He wanted, his whole concept was that no matter who you are, even somebody who's a convicted murderer gets a second chance when you can change your ways and make it to heaven. So he said, that's what I want. And I thought that was really kind of cool. Yep. So, neat story. I've got a link to the whole thing without all my mumbling and stumbling. What was the word from Grandiloquent Word today? It was drumble. I believe I drumble a lot.
You drumbled?
Especially during this break. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.